have this incredibly strong cultural heritage that we share with Russia, and I think it's a fascinating place to explore and rediscover those connections.
There are very few places on earth that you can go and really feel that you're standing somewhere that has experienced dramatic change, and not just in the 21st century and 20th century history, but over hundreds of years.
St. Petersburg specifically is the fourth biggest city in Europe after Istanbul, Moscow and London. And it's also in an extraordinary setting. It's set on the edge of the Gulf of Finland, a series of islands interconnected by bridges, and to visit it now is really to get a sense of glorious history writ large in front of you.
Well, 2017 of course marks the centenary of the two revolutions which were so seismic and caused such an incredible shift in the balance of power in Europe and obviously in society in Russia.
Go and see a city where the essence of that history is still played out in front of you, not least in the Winter Palace. The Winter Palace is like a huge cake that's been uncoiled and spread out in front of you. And inside that is obviously the Hermitage Museum, one of the largest art museums in the world.
There are all sorts of reminders of revolution, and 2017 is the year to go and be reminded of it. Everybody thinks St. Petersburg is beautiful. It is beautiful, it's a wonderful stage set, but I personally prefer Moscow, and I think if you go to Russia, you mustn't miss it. It's not nearly so welcoming, but it does give you a real sense of the power and the history of Russia over many centuries.
So I think if you're in Moscow, you have to make sure that you stop by Gorky Park. Whether it's winter or summer, I think you can really get an idea of the essence of the Russian capital, and even better if you've read the book by Martin Cruz, you can really kind of relate to the park and the city that way.
There is one way you can visit Russia without getting the quite complicated and expensive visa that might be required. If you go on a cruise round the Gulf of Finland and have a stopover in St. Petersburg, you're entitled to visit the city for 72 hours without getting a visa. I would suggest you go to the Matisse Room in the Hermitage, right at the end of the day, about 5 p.m. It's about as far away from the entrance as you can get to. At 5 p.m, the babushkas who stand on each of the doors and make sure that people are moving around and not stealing any of the paintings will suddenly turn off the lights and gently herd you towards the exits. So by the end of the day, there's this sort of stream of tourists being pushed on by very doughty Russian women out into the street. That's your lot. No more art today.